For this coding challenge, you had to write a Python program that determines if a string contains all the letters in the alphabet or not. That is, if the string is a pangram or not. Let's see how you can do this. I have 3 alternative solutions for this coding exercise to show you. We will start with the first option, which is, I think, the most concise one. The first thing that we have to do right here is to import the string module, because we are going to use a constant from this module. So you have to import it to use it in the programs. The next thing that we have to do is to define a variable that contains the string. In this case, I have an example, a famous example of a pangram that contains all the letters in the alphabet. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. Once we have the string assigned to a variable, we need to think about how we can assess or evaluate the letters contained in the string. And one way of doing that is by converting the string into a set. We cast it to a different data type. We convert it from a string to a set. Why? Because sets do not contain duplicate elements. Since they do not have any duplicate elements, all the duplicate characters in the string will be removed, and we will only have a set of unique characters in the string. And with that set, we can evaluate if the set contains all the different elements or characters in the alphabet. But we are going to convert the string into a set after converting it to lowercase, after getting a lowercase version of the string, because we want to make the test case insensitive. We do not want to discriminate between, for example, T in uppercase and T in lowercase. We want this to be counted as the same character as T in lowercase. So after we do that and we get the set, we are going to store it in the variable set s. After we get that set, we will need to remove a special character that we do not want to consider in the result, the space. This is going to remove spaces from the set. Remove actually the space character, because sets only contain 1 element per character, no repeated elements. And then after we have that, we have the set without the space, we can compare this set to the set of all the letters in the alphabet. Let's see this line that we have right here. By importing the string module, on the first line of the program, we can have access to a constant defined in the module, which is ASCII lowercase. This constant represents a string with all the letters in the alphabet. As you can see right here, we have A, B, C, D, E, and we have all the letters in the alphabet that we're going to consider. We're going to make a set from those characters, from that string, and we're going to compare if that set is equal to the set of the characters contained in the string. If they are equal, then that means that the string contains all the letters in the alphabet. Else, it doesn't, so it's not a pangram. This comparison will return true or false, and that result will be printed with the print function. And that is basically how we can implement this in just 3 lines. If we remove this comment, we have a solution with just 3 lines, like this. We're converting the string to a set after getting a lowercase version, then we remove the space from the set and we compare it with the set of all the characters in the alphabet. That is basically what we are doing. If we save the file and run the code, you will see that the result right here is true, because the string s is a pangram. But let's see if the string hello is a pangram. We clearly see that it's not, so we should get false. And this error is precisely why I chose this example. Why? Because if we choose to call the remove method right here to remove spaces from the set of the characters in the string, we would have to check first if the set actually contains a space. Because calling the remove method will throw this error, and this is very common, not checking if the element is in the set before actually trying to remove it. So let's see how you can fix this. We write a conditional and we check if the space character is in the set S. If that is the case, then we are going to remove it from the set. It's just like this, a simple conditional. We can also add a constant for the space character. Okay? Like this. Space, we add this constant and we replace it in our code. If the space character is in the set, then we remove it. Else, we don't remove it because it's not there. And now if we run the code with the string hello, we get exactly what we expected, false. This is a very common mistake. You need to check if the element is in a set or in a sequence before you actually try to remove it, because otherwise you can get an error and the program will crash if this line is executed. Okay, so now you know how to implement this coding challenge with the first option. Let's see the second option. Let me comment this out and let's go to our second option and uncomment this out. In the second option, we have something that is perhaps more intuitive. It uses a for loop. Let's see what we're going to do with this loop. First of all, we are going to import the string module, because we're going to use the same constant that we used in the first option, that represents a string with all the letters in the alphabet, okay? We still have to define a variable s with the string that we want to analyze. In this case, it's a pangram. And we're also going to define a variable is pangram. Initially, that's going to be true. We're going to assume that initially the string is a pangram, and we're going to update that if it's not the case. In a for loop, we are going to iterate over every single letter in the alphabet. For every character in the string that contains all the letters in the alphabet, if that character is not in the string, in the lowercase version of the string, because remember that we want to make our test case insensitive, then we are going to update the variable isPangram to false. Okay, this is going to work because if the character is not in the string, then that means that the string is not a pangram, because not all the characters in the alphabet are in the string. But if they are, then the value of isPangram is not going to change. It's going to be true, and the value printed will be true. Right here we print the value of isPangram. Let's see what we get when we run this code. True, precisely what we expected. Now let's change this to, for example, hello. We see the output false, because this is not a pangram. Great, so now let's see our third option. The third option is very similar to our second option with a small modification that can make your code more efficient. Let me comment this out and zoom in so you can see the third option better. Basically, we have the same solution. We just add this line right here. After updating the value of a pangram, we add a break statement. This keyword, this statement break, stops the loop immediately. This means that you should stop the loop immediately when the statement is found. If a character in the alphabet is not in the string, then we already know that the string is not a pangram. And we shouldn't keep looking or iterating over the characters in the alphabet. We will be wasting time and resources. We already know that the string is not a pangram, and we can stop the loop. So break will stop the loop immediately and jump directly to this line right here. Print is pangram. Break is a very nice tool to avoid unnecessary iterations, because you can stop the loop when you already know what you need to know. Great, so now you know how to solve this challenge and how to check if a string is a pangram or not.